With just 2 weeks until Ohio State opens the season against Navy in Baltimore, Urban Meyer took to the podium on Saturday afternoon to provide some updates following the second week of training camp.
Oh, good. I like our players, just the nagging injuries, but I knew that. But they're fighting through it. There's been no issues as far as any within the team issues, no chemistry issues, alignment issues, and it's actually been very positive in that regard.
After another week of training camp, Meyer's concern remains under center, as Braxton Miller continues to work his way back onto the field. While his quarterback is still not at 100%, Meyer said that number 5 is making strides.
He scrimmaged today. Just limited throws is where we're at right now. We're expecting Monday to hopefully take a big step. But he's, from what they tell me, he's right on schedule. You'd like to have him do a bit more, but he did scrimmage today, and attitude's great, so he'll be ready.
Ultimately, Meyer believes that he knows his quarterback and says he will be ready when the season begins.
I know he'll be ready. I've known Braxton for 3 years, and it's almost like looking at your son, and you can see in his face if he's concerned and he's not. And so I trust that he'll be ready.
Another major training camp storyline has been the battles upon the offensive line. And according to Meyer, one of those 3 positions up for the taking is open no longer.
Daryl Baldwin is a starting right tackle. Left tackle is Taylor Decker, and those guys are. Daryl Baldwin is one of the most improved players on the team. Joel Hale is right in the battle. Here's who's left. You have Pat Elflein, Daryl Baldwin, and Taylor Decker are the 3 starters. And then you have Jacoby Boren, you have Joel Hale, you have Chase Ferris, and you have Billy Price battling for the next 2, and Tony Underwood's in there as well. So that's kind of where we're at.
While the offensive line as a whole seems to be taking shape, Meyer took more time to single out his left tackle, who he says is really becoming a leader not only for the offensive line, but for the team as a whole.
He acts like a captain. I mean, I'm really impressed with his leadership skills. I really give credit to Jack Mehort and Lindsay and those guys, that room, and his coach, Coach Warner. I mean, he acts like a grown man. When he first got here, he had that look in his eye like, what is this? And now that's a product of a culture, and that's very obvious when you go spend time around those linemen.
With Miller working his way back and the offensive line battling it out, the defense hasn't been getting all that much attention in training camp, but according to Meyer, the defense is where it needs to be thanks to Chris Ash and Luke Fickell.
But college football is all stop the run the ball. And when you're facing some very good throwing teams, or you have a Sammy Watkins that you need to get more than one hand on him, we have the ability to do that now. And I think Luke and Chris working together have put together a really nice package that obviously to be determined, but so far it's exactly the way I wanted to see it look.
Finally, Meyer offered an update on his own status in the team hotel, allowing for a smile amidst what has been a grueling couple of weeks.
Every year I do that. Every year I stay, yeah. And do I have a roommate?
Yeah.
No. 50 years old, no roommates.
The Buckeyes will continue training camp next week, and for all of your training camp updates, be sure to follow the Lantern TV. Until then, for the Lantern TV, I'm Hayden Grove.